What the frizzle frazzle, fat shark? Putting out a third mission for Darktide in the span of a month for its anniversary update? Goodness gracious, I wouldn't say you're spoiling us by any means, but it sure is nice because Payday 3 came out with a very similar update recently. With weapons, a new level, and a cosmetic for $18. Yikes. At least Darktide has been putting out these updates for free, but the price of those cosmetics was still digging into my War Dolly's budget. Maybe if you add in solo, all your sins will be forgiven. Little did I and the rest of the Darktide player base know that this update was actually going to curse us, with something I didn't expect. But I'll leave this video's equivalent of Chekhov's gun right here, waiting to be used. And at least it gave me something to do instead of being attacked by women! Ah! Kamiki Tiger! This new update was the final release of the anniversary update for Darktide. I made a video about the other parts of the update that you can find on this channel. All three updates are based on the Karnak twins though, which are the bad guys, who are underlings to the big bad guy Wolfer, where you take them out in the conclusion of this update. Also, you can dismantle the Mobian 6th Regiment, a guardsman regiment that fell to the sickness of Nurgle, that now worship chaos. Which is hella weird because the Karnak twins wear red and black with no green. Now the narrative of Darktide is as tangible as ever. This leaves only one question to be answered. Is the Orthus offensive good? In this video, we're gonna go over the new mission, the Orthus offensive, and everything that it has. Oh, also, if you like the video, you should like the video and subscribe, or YouTube will kneecap my channel and leave it out in the middle of the desert. Please help me. To start this new mission, you're gonna have to go to a whole new tab in mission selection, with it being a special operation. Handed down from Zola herself to go find the Karnak twins. She orders you to return one to their base elements, and to exfil, taking one as a prisoner. Also, we can find out where Wolfer is. This mission predominantly uses reused assets from other missions, but then it leads up to this climactic battle and it's all worth it. There are a few things that change, but for the most part we go through the disposal unit, the ascender lift, the shag hallways, and the courthouse. All of this does kind of seem underwhelming because Fat Shark here recycles environments into slot for our little piggy maws, but these combat encounters almost seem entirely new because of the Karnak twins, with them being tipped off to your shenanigans and planning to whittle you down throughout the mission. Everything's chill at the start in the disposal unit until, whoa, Rinda Karnak, what are you doing here? Oh, just teleporting and slashing around with devious amounts of knockback? I already despise you. Rinda is fast moving with her teleportation and is a psyker or veteran guardsman's worst nightmare. With her being a fast, tanky melee threat, Rinda has good AoE too, that can push you further apart, being hard to manage for a team that has to deal with other things too. If you chip her health down enough, she teleports away, after telling us we're duller than the soles of used shoes. A hop, skip, and a jump away, right next to the Ascender, is Rodin Karnak, who's a reskin of the captain enemy from other assassination missions, still using that exact same plasma gun. Except good old Ronin gets carried by his sister in the melee department, so instead he gets something more evil and disgusting. Stink mines that explode in proximity, that arm after a small period, which do enough damage to usually get rid of toughness and cause corruption, when they do actually hit health. As an individual, he's a little underwhelming because of how predictable he is. He shoots 3 shots, then throws mines, rinse and repeat. Plus, he's not that fast and can be easily chipped down. Don't worry for melee though, he still kind of has something where he pushes you off of him with his disgusting, dark, evil Uggs. Next, you get a small introduction to the gimmick of this mission, Tox Gas. This green gas coats the ground and then shoots up directly into your poor nostrils. This damages toughness over time and then corrupts your normal health. You first see this when you're trapped in the Dutch Oven, which is a devious little room with an elevated platform they have to stand on because tox gas coats the bottom floor. Poxwalkers flood in, trappers grab you and your ample love handles and push you onto the ground with their Scooby-Doo nets. And at the end, a bunch of crushers walk in, creating a convenient exit for you. Then it's another fight with Rinda, and then another fight featuring both twins. Through the entire mission, Zola gets discovered by Rannick, and is booted from the commanding role for this mission. Rannick attempts to help us get out, but the only way out is through, with him telling us to get rid of both of the twins, instead of bringing one back for questioning. This all seems to happen because Zola seems to want to know more something personal about Wolfer, while Rannick says the mission itself was too risky and now we're in too deep and have to kill them both. Because right after a full heal and a restock, you're sent into the Cauldron.
Don't they look desperate, brother? If only we could make this last.
You never change, sister. Still playing with your food.
There's no flame
In probably the coolest and most unique combat encounter in this game, the boss fight between the Karnak twins and our merry group of rejects is exceptional. Things in this fight amp up with the twins having a new shield that makes it so we have to pop both of their shields before a damage phase can even start. How we were playing Darktide, not Pokemon double battles. It gets even worse when you try to whittle down one of the twins and then they both disappear, because then the room fills with tox gas, with the only saving grace being a fan that you can stand underneath. Eventually that fan will turn off and one on the other side of the room will turn on, making you dash through a Warhammer convention full of Nurgle worshippers. This happens 3 times before the first twin goes down, and the other follows suit with no other tox gas phases happening. Enough of this explanation, let me tell you. Fighting big bads that have been antagonizing us, with them being actual threats that are much more terrifying than Beast or Nurgle or even Demonos, is so cool. Even their theming as siblings and as a family makes sense within the theming of Nurgle, with him being akin to a grandfather to all Nurgle worshippers. If you haven't played this boss fight yet and have the ability to, I would recommend you do it, even on the easiest difficulty. The frantic back and forth between the twins and their chaff make for a fight unlike any other in the game. I hope that as more updates come out, we get to see more exceptional pieces of content and combat encounters like this. You know what also makes this mission baller even though it's mostly reused assets? It makes stupid dumb penances that otherwise would need something that would be legally classified as an act of God to happen achievable. Now the game throws guaranteed enemies at you in a mission that will always be there. There's no praying to the God Emperor that 5 Ogren will stack up next to each other at any given moment, because they'll always do that when the Crushers try to break into the Dutch oven. And it's great. It's awesome. Good luck if you're playing Guardsman and still trying to do that ammunition one though. That one seems really hard. As for the plot of this mission, the whole thing centers around a power struggle in our little pocket of the Inquisition. Seriously, the drama's so palpable, I didn't know I was sitting down to watch a telenovela. Either way, there is some conclusion to this story, but there's a lot more setup, like Zola's connection to Woofer that we know small bits about, with Rannick being an overbearing, unfeeling battlefield commander. At the end, you even get a one-on-one call with Rannick where he tells you to watch out for anything being sus. With Morrow, the true voice of reason, telling us that he looks like Teddy Roosevelt and to keep out of inquisitorial business, just for your own safety. But I love listening to teen drama, so here's my hot take. Even though Zola oversteps sending us on that mission that would most likely kill us, she's still pretty chill in my books. She had some reasons and it was a bad call on her, but she doesn't really have any spite for us. And she's the only reason we're alive in the first place, after all, so whatever. Rannick, on the other hand, seems kind of like a weirdo that wanted us to die despite him saying otherwise. This is because when he calls for evac, we don't hear the pilot Mazozi on the other side. I don't think that Rannick planned for us to make it out of this, and expected Zola to take us on this little mission. And for those reasons, I think Rannick is a traitor in waiting.
Oh yeah, for fracking real. Rannick is doing what any good superior should be doing. He schools his less experienced and informed underling, while protecting her from making a stupid mistake and undermining a larger operation. Kraken explains it in a polite text. The Emperor's sacred throne, what are you talking about with traitors and waste?
Dude, what the This mission also comes with one real big secret. Hard mode is practically the main attraction of this update, making the Karnak twins feel almost impossible without a really good group of people. When I tried to defeat hard mode for the first time, I felt like a modern day version of Sisyphus, rolling that rock up a hill to a goal that I would never get to because it would just fall back down. This boss fight is bonkers and has set a new precedent for how hard Darktide can be. It isn't just one thing that makes this mission more horribly difficult than trying to live on Kadishan as a normal Imperial citizen. But from what I can tell, the main reason I suffer so much is because of this glorified whoopee cushion. These stink mines. Seriously, if you accidentally plant your foot on one of these and you don't have health, all that empty health bar gets instantly corrupted, sometimes removing entire wounds. You might miss these little architects of pain due to the avalanche of metal crushers and maulers that break through your toughness, with you losing needed wounds because the only way to regenerate wounds in the fight, besides a guardsman perk, is to take these illegally obtained stims that aren't even that good because they only get one wound back. And you can't even rely on being able to rescue teammates either after they perish, because now they're put into jail and just forced to watch everything unfold. permanently keeping them out of the fight, making this encounter unlike any other, with team play and synergy being more important than ever. If you do somehow win against this troublesome duo in hard mode, you get something super special. A secret goodie, if you will. Bragging rights with a little insignia, and also a shortcut to fight the twins again whenever you feel like it. Hopefully helping others along the way. This hard mode makes you feel like you just lived 6 hours into an Imperial Guard deployment. Also, you could get some very cool looking armor if you played the game before the Orthus offensive was added to the game. I think it's nice that I can have a Bulgrin mask now after all this time. But it's downright dumb that now it's time exclusive. How about we put it behind a large achievement now, like, I don't know, beating the Karnak twins on Damnation? Or even the super secret hard mode Fat Shark? But at least it's free and I didn't have to pay more money for it. Great googly moogly. This update is pretty great. Adding in a new boss fight, more lore thematics, and with it being a step forward for Darktide in general. I hope to see more updates like it. And the anniversary update. Good job, Darktide and Fat Shark. That's all for now. I also got a question for you guys. What do you think about the update, and do you have any other 40k games you think would be fun for me to cover? Both well known and not as well known. Make sure to tell me in the comments down below, and if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. It helps me and this channel out a lot. Till next video, fellas.